Hi guys, hi, welcome. Okay. Hi guys, welcome to Pick on a Dime with Sha. I have missed you guys so much. Oh my goodness, it's been so long, and I know I haven't been here for such a long time, and I need to justify that. I am so sorry I cannot do that today because first of all, it is on Monday. We are rushing to work, everyone is busy, so I'm going to get you all caught up on where I have been for the past couple of weeks, maybe over the weekend, right? So please stay tuned. Today, I do not want to talk too much today. Today we are getting right into the point because we are talking about something very important. We are talking about education, we are talking about express entry, we are diving into serious business. But before we do, nothing is more important than you guys. Thank you so much for still being here. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for always keeping it Pick on a Dime. I am so very grateful for all the new subscribers. Thank you for always watching. Thank you for always commenting. And I promise I will get to all the comments that you guys have under my videos. I am sorry I have not been there. I have not been replying, but I will get right into all of them. And thank you for all that have been checking up on me on my Instagram. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. I feel loved, and I love you right back. Okay? So for those who are just joining us, for those who are new here, I am Sha. That's Speak on a Day with Sha, obviously. I am a new immigrant in Canada. I just came here a few months ago, and I am still learning the ropes as we go. I share my experience in right about everything that I do, from lifestyle to how I got here to the process itself. I used the I used the express entry, and I share tips on right about everything. So today we are talking about the express entry, and we are going to dive right into that. So guys, as usual, when I am talking serious business, I have to have my notes on handy because we do not want to get any of these facts wrong, right? Yeah. So first of all, I'll start by reminding you that I'm not an immigration consultant of any kind. I'm not a lawyer. I am not any kind of immigration official. I am giving all this information based on my own personal experience. Okay, so it being a Monday, let's dive right into it. So the first thing I want to talk to you about today is when you are checking your qualifications for the express entry. One of the most important things you check, first of all, of course, is the education credentials assessment. I did mine through WES. WES is the World Education Service. I will be talking about that in length later on, just not right now. That is not the topic for today. Today we will be talking about the second most important thing that you will be looking at while you're gauging your qualification. This is the language requirements, or the language tests. These language tests come in two different ways, or in two different options. I am sure you're aware by now that Canada is a multilingual country. We have both English and French. So depending on what you are most fluent in, or maybe your first language, or okay, let's say your second language, that is what will lead you to one of these exams. So if you are going to go with English like I did, of course my language has always been English. That's what I studied in all the way from my junior all the way from my past, right? So I had to do my English tests. So if you are going the English way, the exams that you can take are, first of all, you can do the CELPIP. That is the CELPIP in length, or that is Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program. That one is not very popular. That is why you've probably not heard about it. Then there's the second one that is the most popular, which is IELTS, right? The most popular one, of course, is IELTS. IELTS is the International English Language Testing System. This is the one that most people go for, especially if you are immigrating. So what is IELTS? Before we get to what is IELTS, there is the second option. Like I said, Canada is a multilingual country, so you can also go the French way. The French way would mean that you'd go for 2 different exams, either TEF. I'm not going to tell you these terms in full because my French is very, very shaky and I do not want to start embarrassing myself. So you can either go with TEF or you can do the TCF. So today I'll be talking about IELTS because that is what I did. Like I said, this is all based on my personal experience. I did mine while I was in my country, Kenya, and this was in 2020. So when you're registering for IELTS, I have gotten so many questions concerning how do I register, how do I revise for this. I remember, if you have watched my immigration story, and if you haven't, why haven't you? How are you here and you haven't seen my immigration story? Well, if you have already watched my immigration story, you know that I got an 8.5 that I am extremely proud of, and I only revised for 2 weeks to get this. So I have had so many people asking me how I revised for it, how I made it to the 8.5 average, and what materials you used. If you need this information, if this is the kind of information you're looking for, please watch this video up to the very end because you will find all the answers to this and more of your questions. So I have talked so much about IELTS, and I'm sure someone is here asking or wondering, what is this IELTS used for? I know I have explained what IELTS is, but you're probably wondering what is it exactly used for, right? So the International English Language Testing System, i.e. IELTS, is designed to help you work, study, or migrate to a country where English is the native language. This includes countries such as Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the UK, and the United States of America. So this language exam or test is one of the most important tests you're going to do in your life. So this exam is only valid for 2 years from the day that you get your results. So it shows your proficiency in the language and how well you can use it, you know, in your day-to-day or in everything that you're doing. And here is one of the most important things to note while we're talking about IELTS. Like I said, I'll be only talking about IELTS because it's the one that I did. It's the one that I have most experience in. So while you're doing your IELTS, you're going to want to check the options. There are 2 different options. You are going to want to be very careful about the option that you pick, because the first option is the academic option, and the second option is the general training option. The reason I'm telling you have to be very careful is because the academic option is only for students, and if you do it as an immigrant, it will not be counted anywhere. It will not be of any importance. It will not be of any help to you. You'll have wasted your time, your resources, and you can imagine, right? Your application will be rejected immediately, right? Because that is not a qualification they are looking for, right? So you have to be very careful when you're checking your options. Make sure you go for the general training option. This is if you're coming as an immigrant and not as a student, okay? Have you noted that in bold, in italics, and underlined? The general training option. Okay, do not waste your money, do not waste your resources, do not waste your time, do not get your application rejected for no reason. Have your due diligence done and choose the right option even as you register, right? Now that I've mentioned registering, how do you register for your IELTS exams? It is very simple. You do not need to pay someone to do it for you. You do not have to follow up or go to some school and have it done for you. No, you can do it yourself. There are 3 very simple, I think 3 or 2, okay, let's say 3 very simple steps to registering for your IELTS. The first one would be to book the location. Find a location where you're going to do your exam from, and book the exam, book the time, the date that you're going to be doing your exam, and finally just, you know, there are pieces of general obvious information logically that you're going to give, but the one that I'm going to remind you of to be very careful about is the piece of identity that you give that day. If you're going to use your ID card, for instance, I'm Kenyan, so I used my ID card. If you're going to be using your ID card when you're registering, that is the same piece of identity that you're going to use on the day that you go to do the exam. By ID card, I mean the national ID you know, the small ones we have in Kenya, the tiny one, this one. Yes, that one. If you use that one to register, make sure that is the same one you carry when you're going to the exam room. If you use your passport, because it is also an ID, right, make sure it is the same one that you carry on that same day that you're going to do your exam, because if you have anything different, you'll be rejected on that day. And I'm sure you already have nerves enough, you're already so scared, you're already so anxious, you do not want to be turned back at the door when you're so ready to do this exam. So make sure that you do your due diligence, pack your things, pack your papers. Just let the anxiety hit you while you're ready, physically prepared. Okay, yeah. So what next? What do you look at next while you're registering? So while you're registering, well, so while you're registering, there are two different bodies that you can do the IELTS exam under. Well, I was doing mine. I did mine in 2020. Yeah, in 2020, and I was in Kenya. So there are two different bodies that you can do under. You can do under the British Council or under Uni Abroad. I did mine under Uni Abroad because at that time it was COVID time, and for some reason, or what I used to hear was that the British Council was really postponing these exams due to COVID. So I went with Uni Abroad. Uni Abroad, I did mine at Soin Center. Soin Center is in Westlands. I don't know if they're still there. I hope they're still there. But that is where I did mine at. That is Soin Center in Westlands. You have the option of doing it with the British Council. The British Council is based in Upper Hill. Yes, I don't have any experience with them because I didn't use them, but I'm sure they also do a good job. Yes. So the next thing that you need, or that you would be wondering, also there is really, I don't think there is any discrepancy under which of them that you choose. They both administer the same exams, they both do the exact same thing, so I don't really think there is any discrepancy. So the other thing you would want to know while you're registering is how much you're going to pay. So one of the questions I'd been getting was about the mode of payment. You pay via, I paid mine via M-Pesa. Yeah, I just paid it via M-Pesa, and it cost me, like I said, this was in 2020, it cost me 25,000. Yeah, at that time. That is for the whole IELTS exam. So I hear it is currently probably at around 30,000. I'm not sure. Do your due diligence, confirm as you're paying. So that, yeah, also you don't need to, like I said, don't use anyone. You can do these things yourselves. No need for any agent while you're doing something like this. This is just for you. Just basic information, follow instructions, and register. After registering, what is next? You have registered. You are now ready to do the exam. But are you? Are you ready to do this exam? Do you know what is contained in an IELTS exam? An IELTS exam tests the 4 skills of English. The 4 language skills, not of English. It tests the 4 language skills. That is speaking, listening, reading, and writing. This is what the IELTS exam entails. So they are going to be testing you on those 4 skills. And you have the option, I forgot to mention this, you have the option of doing a written exam or an online, okay, not online. You have the option of doing a written exam or a computer-based exam. Depending on how you are revising for your exam, depending on the modes of revision or the materials you are using, you can know what works best for you. I did a computer-based one, and it was a very good experience for me. So I would definitely advise you to go for that, especially if your typing skills are good, because there's the writing part, right? So if your typing skills aren't that good, probably the computer-based one is not the best for you, right? Right, so let us jump into the scariest part. That is the exam itself. So on the day of the exam, in some cases, they will give you the speaking exam on a different day from the other 3. In my instance, or on my experience, they were all done on the same day. I did all of them on the exact same day. But the speaking exam was the scariest of them all, because let me just give you a quick recap of what exactly happens. For the speaking exam, you go into a room. You go into a room. You speak to someone via computer. Of course, there's a webcam and everything. They ask you questions, and here they test how you express yourself, how you speak, how you you know, how confident you are, how the words just roll off your tongue, such things, so many different things that they look at. And the best score you can get for, okay, not just for the speaking, but for all of them is 9. 9 is the highest score. I am so proud to say that in my speaking, I got an 8.5. And the 0.5 is because I was anxious as... let me swallow what I'm going to say. But I was extremely anxious. So at that time, they account for how anxious you are, so they try not to penalize you so much for it. But it's all about confidence. When it comes to speaking, it's all about confidence. The next one would be listening. Listening is where you are... something is being narrated, of course. So you listen to what is being said and answer questions based on the information you've gotten through the listening, right? Anything that has been told to you is going to be put down into questions. So it is actually very simple because you're just answering exactly what you have been hearing. Okay. Thirdly is the reading. Reading is very basic, very straightforward. If you're from the Kenyan system, you already know the set book system. So reading is just that. You are given information or stories, you read, and then you answer questions. Very basic, very outright. And then finally is the writing. The writing is the composition of the Kenyan system. Composition, where you are given a topic. And then you write a composition. That's it. So you have to be very... the same things they were checking back then, from your spelling to your expression, very basic things, everything. It is all in there. So that's it, guys. That is what the IELTS exam is. That is what the beast of IELTS is. So don't be scared. I know people get really worked up when it comes to it, but especially if you have a very good foundation in English, it should be very easy for you. And the best thing you can go in there with is your confidence, right? So guys, this is where people go wrong. Just because you have been speaking English all your life, just because you studied in English from your very tender age up to where you are right now, does not automatically mean you know English. Do not think it's just going to be that easy because I've told you these are basic things. It's not going to be easy. You need to study, you need to revise, you need to do a lot of revision for you to be able to do and pass this exam. I know I said I did mine in just 2 weeks. I had just studied for 2 weeks before I did mine, and I actually passed very well. Yes, I don't think you ever get tired of such an accomplishment. Yes, so what I would advise you is, please do not assume. Do not assume that this thing is easy. I have had friends, I have seen experiences of people who have done this exam more than 4 times for them to be able to get the highest score that they could. If you are doing this for your immigration process, you will want to get an 8 in your listening. It's very important that you do not get less than 8. Then for the rest, you can just get an average of 777. You know, 777, but make sure you get an 8 in listening. Listening is for some reason very independent in terms of marks, but if you are fighting to be the most qualified when you get into the pool, of course you want to get the highest possible marks. So do not limit yourself to 877. Do not limit yourself to that. Just get the highest possible points that you can. Assert yourself so hard that you know you did your best. And while we are at this, we have come to one other question that I have been asked so many times, and it is going to be the last segment of this video. The materials to use, what to use to revise for your IELTS exam. So, like I said, I have my notes in handy because this is extremely important. So for me, you remember when you're getting ready for a very important exam such as the KCSE, KCPE, and so forth, any major exam, the best and most important thing to do usually is to do revision of papers or exams that have been done prior, so that you have an idea or some rough idea of how that exam could or would look like, right? So this is not any different. This is the exact same thing. You will want to get revision material for exams that have been done previously that are more or less exactly like the exam that you're about to sit for. So let's see, where do you get this information? Where do you get this material? So In today's time and age, with today's technology, you can find everything on YouTube. Write about everything on YouTube. First exhibit or exhibit A, you are watching me right now, right? Because you're looking for information. Yes, so you will get all the information you need from YouTube. I have specific channels that I used while I was revising, and I found them extremely helpful. So the first one that I used and that worked really well for me was IELTS Liz. IELTS Liz is a YouTube channel, and she has so much information to do with IELTS. She will give you all the guidance you need. If you follow and listen to her and just put into action what she's telling you, I don't see why you should not achieve your utmost best, right? So that is IELTS Liz. I will put the name right here. Next is E2 IELTS. E2 IELTS. E2 IELTS has is also a YouTube channel, but they have also a website. They have both a website and a YouTube channel. I'll also put the name here, and they also give very fundamental information. These are just the two that I had been using, the two YouTube channels I had been using constantly, but there are so many. There are so many YouTube channels with people giving their experiences on what they did or how they passed their exams, or giving you just what to expect. They even give tutorials. You see people having a real life experience on what an exam looks like, right? So just don't be lazy, just exert yourself and watch as much of this content as you can. Then then let's say YouTube channels can only do so much, because there's also the written part, there's the listening part, there is the reading part, and you need to do this physically. You need to actually practice this so that you can feel ready and confident when you're actually doing the exam. You can use revision papers from Cambridge IELTS. They deal in series, like they come out in series. So the last time I was using it, I think they were up to series 15. That's the 15th series, and you will want to do as close to the time you're doing as possible. For instance, I do not expect you to be studying for an exam for maybe next year, and then you're looking at the first series. You'll probably be looking at the most recent series, so that they can be helpful to you, so that you can know if they have changed anything, so that you can know if there is anything different from what you have been looking at. So do as many revision papers as possible, just like I said, just the same way you prepare for any exam. Do as much practice as possible, do as many papers as possible, so that when you're walking into that exam room, you feel like it is familiar, it doesn't seem alien to you in any way. Finally, and this is a very fun one, when you feel tired from all the revision, from watching the videos, from the YouTubes, from the papers, from the studying and all that. By the way, you can also do a lot of reading. If you are a book lover, reading novels helps. But at the end of the day, all this comes down to how much experience do you have in your English, how much command of the language do you have, so that you can know just how much revision you need to do. Right? So you can do a bit of light reading, but when you're really tired and you can't read, you can't watch, you can't do the papers, there are these games. You see these phones, there are games, word puzzles. What else? There's the word puzzles. There are just all types of fun kind of games that help with your spelling. I had a problem with my spelling, and they really helped me out. So just Google or just check your applications, find something to do with word puzzles that helps you practice your spelling, that helps you learn new words, and yeah, there you are. At the end of the day, it is just an exam, but it is a very important exam, because if you fail, you will have to pay another 25 to 30,000 to receive that exam. So go ahead and do your best the very first time, and even if you do not get the highest, you have the chance to do it 101 times. Just don't give up, right? Because you know where your eye is at. You know the goal, you know the destination, you know why you're doing it. So allow yourself to work. Allow yourself to be busy. Allow yourself to try your best, so that by the time you're getting those results, you will be so proud of yourself. I wish you all the best. Again, it is a Monday. We do not have so much time to be here, but I hope you have learned something. And like I said, I'll be talking about WES in an upcoming video on how to register for West and how to get your credential assessment done. But this is the first step. This is one of the first steps. So go ahead and do your IELTS. Go and do your best. I wish you all the best. Looking forward to hearing of your testimony and of your success. Thank you for keeping it pick on a dime. Thank you for your time. Nothing but love. Mwah. See you on the next one. Also, remember to subscribe. I forgot to tell you guys. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like. Remember to comment. Remember to like. Remember to comment. Remember to share. All those good things so that we can keep going. Please stay tuned. I promise I am back. And again, I am sorry that I have been gone for so long. Nothing but love. Mwah. Hi guys, hi, welcome. Okay.